My name is Abel Santido. I'm the Deputy CTO at Electronic Caregiver. So I grew up in Mesquite, New Mexico, so that's south of Las Cruces. Um, Usually my day-to-day there was a little bit different. It was mostly playing outdoors. We would always go on bikes and travel. So my mom would tell us, don't leave the street. But obviously as kids, and there was a bunch of us, we would take off all together and travel to San Miguel, which was about 10 miles away, and then come back. But there was nothing major that could be done. But instead of being indoors, we were outdoors because there was nothing to do. We didn't have any fast-speed internet, so it was all dial-up. You couldn't download anything, and so instead, you were outside playing. The biggest thing that helped out was actually the trade schools, or the trade or technical classes. So automotive, I took it for 4 years. I did welding, I did woodwork, and there was a small engine repair. That's what intrigued me into engineering because I like to work around machines. And so I figured, well, if I like them, why not build them? But if I have to think of what helped me the most, it was actually my calculus classes. I took AP calculus while I was in Gadsden High. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have survived my first couple of years in college. But for what I do, I had to learn it on the go. On mechanical, they taught me MATLAB, that's it, through NMSU. And so when we started working here with different languages like C#, C++, anything in C or Python, I had to learn it to be able to actually make this work. And so the skills that I learned through the engineering program helped out a lot because you have to force yourself to learn it, to read and to want to actually figure out a solution. And the way most of our brains work as engineers or software developers is you have a problem, you probably don't stop there. You try to figure it out and you break your head until you do. For me, it usually happens at night. I go home and I'm supposedly sleeping, but in my head, I'm dreaming how to solve my problem. And then I come home or I come to work and I try it, or I get up at night at work since I could do it remotely and type it in and oh, it worked. So it's different. The biggest thing that I do in the morning, or I guess I'll walk you through my day. I wake up about 6 a.m. I commute every single day from El Paso to here. By the time I hit the highway to get here, I take my first calls. I'm on calls since about 7:30 till about 10. Those are when I take all of my calls that I have. And that's because we have different partners in different parts of the country or the world. And so I have to accommodate them and vice versa. So the reason I like to wake up to my calls is I get to talk to my developers and see how they're doing. It means a lot to me to hear their voices, to hear that they're okay, especially if we're remote, being able to assess them emotionally, how they're doing. Because it's tough. Some of our developers live alone. They don't have anybody to live with. And I have a couple that do that. And so I'm always looking out for them to make sure they're okay. Because there's nobody physically there to help them out. After I'm done with that, then I get to the cool stuff, which is actually working on hardware solutions that I do right now. So right now we're trying to get to market with Addison. And in order to do that, there's hardware requirements that we need for it to run. And the majority of my afternoon, that's all I do. I dedicate it to just hardware testing, doing bench tests. And so that's usually it, unless I have specific meetings with Intel, Dell, or other partners that we have. But a lot of my job is more of an admin, and I have about 15% that's actually engineering. So my next step is actually to finish my master's. And then I know that by that point, I feel that Addison's going to be in a good place and we'll have a replacement for me. Because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to comb through the people that I have so I can find a replacement. I don't see myself staying in software that long because I'm a mechanical engineer. That's how I think. And to me, I want to go back into the automotive industry, or the next thing is Mars. So I want to go work for either SpaceX or Blue Origin, anything to that effect, because again, that's my nature, that's what calls me. It's listening and understanding that we're all human and that we have all bad days. And so the biggest part of my job is listening to people, listening to concerns. It's either our bosses, our C-suite that tell us, hey, this is what I need, and sometimes it's not clear. So I have to investigate. And the best way to do it is to be friendly. Because if you're the opposite, where they feel that you're being attacked or you're being a nuisance, you're not going to get the answers you need. So to me, it's listening and being friendly, being actually someone to reach out to. I think what's helped me the most with the company when I started here was the fact that I started in sales. I came here so I can pay for college. That was the extra money so I can actually live on campus. And being friendly helped me a lot because people started to know what I did. Because they hired me for sales, they didn't know I was going for engineering. And the more I started talking to people, the more people found out, oh, he's going for school. He's going for school in engineering. And eventually told me, hey, I heard you're an ME. I'm more like, I have a project. And so thanks to that, the friendliness to be able to open to people. And it's a give and take relationship that I had here. And so far it still is. Because I try to do my rounds. I don't have a lot of time left. But I try to do my rounds during my lunch. If I'm done, I walk from one department to the other. And all I do is say hi and visit with them. Just so they know who I am.